Okay, so here's my assignment 4 video. Gonna go ahead and get started. We're going to run a server and 2 clients in debug mode so that we have the breakpoints. So now we've got the server running. Let me just set up the console views. So if we go to okay, so if we go to our console view, or our debug view, we'll see that we have some breakpoints set up. First one I'm going to go to is in the server in the main thread. So yeah, right here it's what it calls receive. I just have a breakpoint set. I'm just gonna continue this one because it's gonna block until it receives something from the clients. Really, the main ones are in the clients. We have receive listeners set up that are attached as listeners to the object port. So they receive the message. Yeah. So it was suspended at this breakpoint. It's going to add it to a buffer and just call the so and then let's just that all the way through. So that was the first client. So once we did that and it got the buffer, it added it and it finished the receive call. So it's got its return remote value. And then now if we go to the second one, it's also stopped at the my receive listener. So it's also here. Let's just go to 6. So it was there, and then let's just finish running that. So now we got a remote value of 12 for this one. So now they're just blocked at this receive call. Now they're both kind of blocked in the receive call, so let's just finish that up. So we'll see that we finally got the last few traces that we got in RPC return. So really that just shows that, like assignment 1 said, I set up the receive listeners to listen to object port and add them to the bounded buffer. And if you look at the receive call or what the function's doing, it's basically taking out of the bounded buffer and just continually trying to do that until it gets a message that is from that source. So that was. So now I'm going to show part 2 and 3 at the same time because I have both of them already implemented and kind of makes sense to do them at once. So I'm once again running 2 clients in a server. So if we look, clients are both stopped at this line 45, the counter increment. So this is a procedure call. So part of or part 3 is that this procedure call will block and wait. So we're going to show that it's also using the explicit receive to do that. So if I do F8 to continue to the next breakpoint, we'll see that the next breakpoint is in the receive call. So, and if we go back to our debug, it means that our main thread is now blocked, or it's at the breakpoint here for the main receive call, which is the explicit receive call. So this shows that both procedures and functions are using the explicit receive. And if we look at my console for it, we'll see that through the object port in the trapper, we're getting our RPC return value of null, which makes sense because it's a procedure call and we don't really want to get anything back. So we use this and we just F8 to finish up. It goes back to the next breakpoint, which is in the get value. And so if we F again, we'll see that also this function call is using the explicit receive to basically get its values. So if we'll see I have a print take from took from buffer when we finish this. So we'll see that it took it from the buffer, the received message was DQ'd, RPC return value of 11. And so if we go back to the second client, it's also suspended at it's here at 45. So because if we go F6 and skip over it, we'll see that we also get stuck here at the explicit receive. So this is just showing that both clients are doing it. That is for part 2 and 3, showing that Gypsy is now using the explicit receive call that I made, and that it's using this for both functions and procedure calls. So now we're going to be running the different experiments. As you can see in my client, I disabled the line to set the factory to use my new Gypsy. So this is just using the old Gypsy. And as you can see, I turned the IPC to Gypsy. So if we there it was, so as you can see, it takes 12 seconds. This time we're going to be using my factory. So as you can see, I set the factory to be my factory setter, so it's the custom Gypsy that I made for this assignment. So let's run it. So it was 12 seconds. So the reason that it took about the same time for both is that really the main difference is in the procedure calls, but my experiments don't really use too many procedure calls. It's a lot of functions, so there really wasn't that much difference between the Gypsy that I implemented and the Gypsy from before. Okay, so now we're going to be running the local testing suite for assignment. So let's go ahead. Okay. Passes. This one. This one. So unfortunately, I'm failing this one because I still have a bug with my atomic, and because of that, it won't let me take this test at all. It just won't even run it. I've tried many times to debug it, but I really can't figure out how, so it's kind of pretty late to do. So those are my local tests.